Hey gang, Coach Seli here, and today I'm going to be talking about heavy lifting. Get a lot of questions now about if I'm doing BFR training, what should I do with heavy lifting, or should I do it at all? And truth be told, if you're training for just overall fitness in life, then heavy lifting becomes less important now that you're doing BFR training. But if you still want to get the maximum result in your program, having one day of heavy lifting is not a bad idea if you can do that safely. I've boiled my heavy lifting day that used to be an hour long multiple times a week, and I'd kind of feel beat up after it. I've now boiled it down to just a few exercises that I do for a short amount of repetitions, and it's a very short workout. And I walk away feeling strong and feeling good and not beat up. Because I've been doing BFR, I'm actually stronger in my heavy lifts than I used to be, and I feel safer because my body feels more. I have the strength to do the heavy lifts. So it's kind of a nice combination to do BFR, building that strength in your body, that hypertrophy, and then complementing that with some heavy lifts that are going to help our nervous system and also load our skeleton and create that uh, real life strength of lifting things heavy off the ground. I'm going to show you three of my favorite heavy lifts today. Obviously, it takes a little bit more equipment, but not really much. I'm doing a heavier set of dumbbells to do two of the exercises, and then I'm using a bar that you could find at a park, or if you go to a gym, maybe you have one in your house, but probably not likely a bar to do some pull up and hang type exercises. So first, we're going to talk about carries. I love heavy carries because it's probably one of the lower risk of injury type exercise we can do with heavy weights. And it's great for posture. It's great for bone health. It's great for grip strength and just strengthening our whole body to be able to handle a heavy load. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to start with a pair of dumbbells. Just for reference point, I'm using 35-pound dumbbells today. That might be heavier than you use it. It might not. If you're not familiar with these, I'd encourage you to start lighter if they can continue to push yourself to a heavier load. The heavier load you can carry, the more benefit you're going to get, as long as you can carry it safely. So I'm going to grab my two dumbbells. The trickiest part is probably picking them up. So if you're picking them up from the ground, you want to be careful with the form there. Once you have the weights in your hand, first thing you want to do is kind of get a nice tight grip on those weights. So squeeze a little bit with your hands. Second thing, you might notice my shoulders are a little forward. So I want to correct that by pulling my shoulders down and back. And then you also might notice my head's a little bit forward right now, which a lot of people have. So I'm going to pull that chin back, and I'm going to be tall through the top of my head. I'm not leaning back. I'm just stacked. My head is on top of my shoulders on top of my hips are on top of my feet. From that position, I'm just going to walk. We've done these in our BFR workouts with lighter weights. It comes a lot harder when you actually truly have heavier weights. You can feel your body working. You can feel your grip. You can feel when your foot contacts the floor, there's more load. Try to have somewhat normal walking mechanics. Since I'm on a small screen here, I'm kind of going back and forth, but it would be better if you just went for a longer straight distance because you could get more in a flow. And you want to go until you start to feel some fatigue in your grip, as long as you don't start losing the posture. All right, when you're done, you're going to set those down. So I would encourage you, rather than going light and doing it for a long time, try to challenge yourself to go heavy. See if you can go for 30 seconds to a minute. Start with a weight that you can do 30 seconds. And then if that's hard, take a break, build up to a minute. Once you can do that weight for a minute, then go up in weight. So that's a good way to figure out the weight. If you can't do 30 seconds, it's too heavy. If you can do more than a minute, it's too light. Second exercise is going to be a deadlift, which is probably my favorite strength exercise, but it's also can be a tricky one for people if you're not familiar with the form. A lot of people complain of lower back if they're doing these deadlifts. So if you aren't familiar with the form of a deadlift, I encourage you to keep doing these with BFR instead, using light weights until you're able to really get that form, or you can work with someone in person that can really take you through the proper mechanics. But if you have experience with lifting, if you have experience with deadlifts, it is definitely one that I keep in my program, and I'll show you the form on these. I'm going to be using my same weights I used in carries. I'll stand sideways so you can see I have the weight just right in front of my quads, kind of setting against my legs. First thing first, my feet are kind of narrow, about hip width apart. I'm going to sit back into my heels and sit my butt back. Notice my first move is my butt traveling back, not my knees bending down, right? My butt is traveling back. I keep that. My spine is long. I pass the knees, push through the feet, stand up. My butt travels forward, right? So I'm sitting back with my hips. I'm on my heels, push into the ground, bring my hips forward. Sit back, push and lift. Sit back, push through the feet, lift. You're not lifting with your back. You're pushing through your feet. Your legs stand you up. I don't feel much in my low back. My low back is definitely working to stabilize the weight, but it's not lifting the weight. One more. Good. Finish that. Put those down. My third exercise is going to be a hang. So you'll notice all three of these exercises take quite a bit of grip strength. So by the end of this workout, definitely gonna have some fatigue in my forearms, but grip strength is a great thing to strengthen because it's our connection, it's our upper body connection to the world and things around us. So the stronger our grip strength is, the more strength we'll have to pull things, and that's going to help our whole body get stronger. So in this hang, there's a couple variations. If you know you have any shoulder issues, or if you feel like you have a hard time getting your shoulder to a vertical position if you're tight, then you want to definitely make sure you're careful with these and maybe use some props to help make it a little easier from a range of motion standpoint. You just need to find a pull-up bar. Again, I know some people won't have these. I'm going to get myself on the bar with a good grip. Now, if I'm worried about my shoulder mobility, I'm going to keep my foot on the box. I'm going to lower myself, maybe by both feet, and I'm supporting maybe 50% of my weight with my legs. And then I'm 60%. And just see how it feels. And you don't ever have to even move your feet. That's a good way to start. You can even do some pull-ups with using your feet. I won't be able to come all the way up with the height of this box, but I can get the first half of my pull-up. I'm maybe helping my body with 30 to 50% of assistance with my legs. Great way to sort of learn pull-up. You're starting to feel good in that, and your shoulder range feels good. You can step your feet slowly off the box and maintain a nice position there. You don't want to just hang from your shoulders. You want to be kind of supportive of that position. Keep your lats engaged. Keep your core engaged so you're not arching your back. And hang. Come on down. Again, I use the same timing there. I start with 30 seconds. I try to get to the point of doing it for 30 seconds. If I can't do 30 seconds with my body, then I'll use assistance. If I can, then I'll do my body weight, and I'll try to work my way up to a minute. Once you get body weight for a minute, you're pretty golden. You don't have to really push much beyond that. Then you can start playing with maybe different variations of pull-ups. All right, so that's the heavy workout for today. This is, honestly, I do this same workout most weeks for my heavy workout. I might add another thing in here or there, but these are my kind of foundational heavy movements. I would do 3 sets of each, 5 to 6 reps of the deadlifts, and again, 30 seconds to a minute of both the carries and the hang. So hope you guys like this. Give it a try. Again, on the deadlifts, if you're not familiar with the form, be careful. Maybe start lighter, see how you can progress, or try to work with someone that can help you with that form. And again, this is sort of an optional with BFR, but if you're really trying to get to your optimal strength, this is a nice thing to complement your program with, to just add in 1 day a week for about 15, 20 minutes. All right, thanks. Let me know if you have any questions.